your Alaska Link weather for Juneau and Southeast.
As we head into another week of May, we are going to be monitoring some shower chances, but we are going to see that the drier weather may be a bit more prominent for this week. Now, we are noting, though, that into the middle of the week, we are going to be back underneath tracking some areas of some rain showers. But just as we have these chances through the middle of the week, we're right back to seeing even some possibility of that blue sky to return in some of our communities here across the Panhandle. But as we talk about some of these drier days being a little bit more dominant through this week, note that next week is back to more of that rainy, showery pattern that will take us even towards June. So we'll want to enjoy where we are talking about some of this quieter weather. Now, for the tidal forecast here for our Tuesday, high tide is 7 o'clock on the dot and then 8:30 into the evening hours. We will note that the morning hours will start off around 45 and then head to a high of 54. So looking to be seasonable. If anything, continuing to trend with some of these afternoons a little cooler than normal, but especially if we can keep areas of dryness, that does allow for some of those afternoons to be a bit more mild. So flirting with the upper 50s possible, but there's no big warming that's in place, so we're not going to see any soaring temperatures, again, nowhere near records. Now, throughout the day, we are going to be tracking some chances for some rain showers, but still largely seeing a lot of dry pockets. Also noting that even as we lift into some of these rain chances, overall not too breezy. The wind not much of a factor here, especially for our Tuesday. So we will note that there are some of these areas of some rain showers, but again, they're still seeing the larger pockets of some dryness. So as we have some chances around for our Tuesday, we'll note that there is another wave that is going to be moving into the Gulf waters, but a lot of it not strong, and it is off towards more of the west, noting that the chances more prevail for the Aleutian Islands into the southwestern portion of the state, bringing some impacts to the south central, but leaving us with these larger dry pockets where we even see some good slivers of some drier weather. So we'll mention these scattered showers, but really emphasis on scattered showers. We're even noting that we have some zeros there on the board for Haines and as well as Sitka, and then noting that the rest of the Panhandle, very, very light amounts. So again, not a drenching weather pattern, nowhere near to what kind of pattern we've been underneath. So we will enjoy these largely drier weather conditions that we will carry over through this week. We are over 17 hours of daylight now for our Tuesday, and we are now just about this a mark away from hitting the day that has the most amount of daylight. So we're starting to see that we're slowing down how much daylight we are gaining per day, but still seeing that we are gaining minutes of daylight with a 4:19 sunrise, 9:28 sunset. We are holding around those mid-50s as we battle some moving cloud cover, a few of that sunshine to showers, which carries over into that Wednesday forecast. And then it's going to be this continuous pattern of noting that there are going to be these drier weather days, at least through the end of the week. And then as we get closer to next week is where we will turn back to those showery conditions.